I think when I started being premenopausal, I started watching my midsection grow and grow and grow. And it just got to the point where I was pretty miserable. I did the plant based for a whole year, but I was miserable. I couldn't fit in any of my clothes. I just kept getting, more inflamed. My psoriasis was horrible at that time. My skin was not as bright as it is now. I had a lot of joint pains too. My lower back hurt me all the time. Hurt me all the time. My name is Patricia, and I am 59 years old. I will be 60 in February. And I am one of six kids. I come from the South where we didn't eat out a lot. My mom cooked every day. I was very athletic, and I really didn't have any health problems or weight problems until around 40. I think when I started being premenopausal, I started watching my midsection grow and grow and grow. And it just got to the point where I was pretty miserable. When you try to do the things that you did when you were younger, like, I'll just run more or I'll just exercise more, none of that really helped. As you get older, you can't rely on the things that you did when you were 20. So I tried plant-based diet. I tried counting my macros. I had a little bit of success with fasting. I did do fasting for probably about 6 months. And I mean, I was doing fine with that, except for the fact that I wanted to eat, I wanted to just be like kind of normal. And then when I found the carnivore diet, I did like fasting and I still do fasting, but I do like the fact that if I do feel hungry, then I can eat and I don't have to worry about what food I'm ingesting because I know it's going to benefit me and I'm going to feel great. That's what I love about the carnivore diet. I think I found the carnivore diet from watching fasting YouTubes. I listened to Dr. Fung, Jen Stevens, and I think just by listening to those fasting YouTubes, it brought me to carnivore. I just took off with it. I dove straight in. The rice and any carbs that I was eating at the time, potatoes. I remember eating a lot of potatoes and Brussels sprouts and, vegetables. And I ate a grilled chicken salad every day for lunch for a year because I thought that's the way to go. And it wasn't until started bringing meat and eggs and bacon and breakfast sausage, just any kind of animal based food, did I start feeling better. And I haven't looked back. I love the way I feel now. I have so much energy. And I do on a regular basis, like Monday through Friday, I do intermittent fasting because when I get to work at 6:30, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat at that time. So I intermittent fast until about 11 or noon, but I'll make sure I walk before I eat. And after I walk, I'll come in and I'll heat up my food and I'll eat at noon. And then again, I'll eat dinner. However, I like to change it up. I feel like I need to change it up sometimes. So on the weekend, I may eat breakfast and then have lunch and dinner. But most of the time, I'm eating 2 meals a day. Sometimes I eat 3 meals a day. But for the majority of it, I eat 2 meals and try to get my protein and fats in during those 2 meals. I think around the 3 month mark, but I do know that I went from size 12, I was about 170 pounds, and I went to a size 8. And I thought, wow, this is great. I'm a size 8, which is amazing. I couldn't lose 1 pound before eating plant based, the vegetables. Oh my goodness, it just made me feel so bloated. I never could lose weight. And then all of a sudden, I'm down to a size 8. Well, I started buying, some size 8 pants and then I kept eating the same way. I kept doing the carnivore lifestyle. Now I'm in the size 4 without even trying. I mean, my body just adjusted and adjusted, and I have a waist now. My hips are not as big as they used to be. My back fat, all that has just slimmed down to the point where I wear a size small. I was in a large or extra large shirt just to fit it around my back. Now I wear a small and I'm in a size 4. So that is simply amazing. I don't think I've ever been a size 4 ever in my life. I've been having psoriasis since the 6th grade. I have been to numerous dermatologists, and the only solution that they ever gave me was creams, ointments, solutions that I could put in my head because I had psoriasis all around my scalp, behind my ear. It's gone. Like I can feel behind my ear and there's nothing there, which is amazing because I had big, scabby patches just everywhere, on my elbow. I mean, everywhere. And now I don't even use my solution or my creams. I just eat the meat. Another problem I had was a bladder. My bladder just was not, I guess it wasn't functioning properly. I would go walking or I would jog a little bit. I had to stop because I had leakage. So I went to a doctor and they tested me to see if I actually needed a bladder suspension. They said I didn't need it at that age, but probably in a couple of more years I would need a bladder suspension. Well, now that I'm eating the carnivore diet or carnivore lifestyle, I don't like to call it a diet because it's a lifestyle to me. One day was doing some sprints and I stopped and I said, "Wow, like I don't have a bladder problem anymore. This is amazing." Another problem was my gums. I would floss and my gums would bleed. I went to the dentist and they told me my gums were unhealthy. Now I have no problem. No problems with my gums. My teeth are very healthy. I floss all the time. I can't stand to have anything in my teeth, any food in my teeth. And so I, use the picks and all that stuff. Never, never have a problem. No more bleeding. So that's a real plus, in my book. Anxiety. I used to I'm not too much of an anxious person, but I did feel a difference after a couple of months, I guess, on the carnivore diet. I felt so calm. I felt relaxed, which was unusual for me because I felt like I always had these thoughts going through my mind. I would think about stuff before it even would happen, anticipating the worst. And I don't do that anymore. It's a real calming effect. And I love that. Well, I think a lot of women go through the menopause. And, another thing, I had hot flashes so bad, I would carry a little fan around with me. When I went to a restaurant, I had my little fan because I knew I would start sweating and just all of a sudden the hot flashes would just take over my body. And it was just miserable. I didn't want to sit there and just be miserable. So I would have my little fan and I would fan myself and it just went away. It's no longer there. It's because I found the carnivore lifestyle. That is why. That is why I'm not miserable anymore. So I want other people to have that option as well. I get up every morning and I have my coffee. I have purity coffee though. I love my purity coffee. And I put butter in it and I blend it and I'm off to work. Just about every weekend I'm cooking, which I love to cook. I'm from the South, so I love to cook. I grill. Sometimes I'll have stuff on the grill, stuff in my air fryer, and stuff and meat in my oven. Just 3 things just going because I feel you're going to be more successful if you are prepared. If you're not prepared, you come in your house and you're really hungry, you're going to fail. You have to have, let's say, boiled eggs, bacon. That's what I have all the time. I mean, you can whip up some eggs and put some meat in it and have an egg scramble. That is very easy. It will satisfy you until you can maybe cook a steak or something like that. But I tell everyone, be prepared. Cook your food. Don't rely on going out to eat because you don't know what they're cooking your food in. So that's how I do it. I love to walk, especially on the weekends. I walk a lot. I have my Apple Watch. I look at it all the time. I gotta have more steps. I gotta have more steps. But at work, I have a desk job. But once an hour, I will get up and go outside and work, because I work in a building and I don't have windows. It is tough. So that's very important to me also is, I get to work at 6:30 in the morning, and within that next hour, I want to see the sun, and I get some steps in. I come back to my desk, I work. In about another hour, I'll go outside again, walk. I mean, it's so refreshing. It keeps me going. And that's how, even if you have a desk job, you can't use that as an excuse. You can get up, you can go walk some stairs. There's ways to get around the fact that you have a desk job. That's just an excuse. You need to get up, go outside, walk a little bit, come back in, or use the stairs, or just walk in circles. Sometimes I'm just walking around in circles. I have some little 3-pound weights at my desk, and I will just get up sometimes. Especially if I'm on a meeting, a conference call, I'll get up from my desk and work out with my weights while I'm on my headphones. I saw a movie on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, it talked about how you should be like vegan or plant-based. And I thought, well, let me try that, because I'm trying everything else. So I started eating, like, I would make, instead of a hamburger, I would make a bean burger. Or, you made them out of beans. You made a burger out of beans. So I did that. Just a lot of beans, salads, potatoes, just made queso out of like yeast, yellow. I can't even remember the name of it. But anyway, I followed this girl on YouTube. Her name was Plantiful Kiki or something like that. She's pretty popular, but she makes a lot of recipes. And so I was following her and following her recipes and just making all this food that I thought was beneficial to me. But I really didn't feel good, and I felt bloated. I mean, I could barely button my pants, after eating that kind of food. And it wasn't until I started the carnivore lifestyle. I would eat a lot. I do eat a lot. I eat a lot of meat, and whatever I'm eating, I look down and I still can button my pants. It's amazing. My stomach doesn't protrude after eating meat. It doesn't. I remember whenever I was on the plant-based, I would look down and my stomach would be protruding to the point where I would have to go and maybe change my pants to something with more elastic, because I couldn't button my pants. And it would take about 3 to 4 hours for that to come down. I was miserable. And I didn't really know how miserable I was. And I didn't know it was the plants. But now I do. Because when I do go off the carnivore lifestyle, that's the first thing that comes back is my joint pain. So I try not to go off plant. I think I had to explain to my mom and dad that I was eating this way, and I didn't want all the sides. I don't have to have a piece of pie with my coffee, like mom. Mom liked her afternoon coffee and dessert. I told her, I said, Mom, you need to think about, how did you eat when you were little? You didn't have all this packaged food, and you felt better. And she said, yeah, I did feel better, because now she just had a knee replacement. She has a lot of joint pain, and my dad does too. I know it's because of the ultra processed foods that they're eating. I mean, I guess from learning about it through the media and social TV ads and all the marketing that they did, everyone thinks that the way to eat, when it's not. You can feel the difference. I mean, you eat some cereal, then you take it away for a while, you will definitely feel the difference. And so actually 2 of my sisters are eating this way because of me. They saw the big difference that it made in my energy, my weight, because my 2 sisters had the same problem with the menopausal side effects. They started getting the midsection growing, joint pain and aches and mental problems. And now, they asked me some questions about it, and I told them exactly what I ate and how I felt. And I said, do your own research. So I tell my mom and dad, you can look it up now. You have access. Just do your own research and see how you feel. Because I may eat something that affects me, and it may affect you differently. And I tell everyone, set a goal and do the carnivore lifestyle for 3 months. Give it 3 months and see how you feel. And I guarantee you, you will see a change. And at that point, if you want to eat some vegetables or eat some rice, or go ahead and do it and see how it feels compared to the 3 months of being a carnivore. And then you get to make, you make your own mind up about if you're going to continue the carnivore lifestyle or not. But like I tell everybody, I guarantee you, you will feel so much better eating this way, you know? So I'm going to keep eating this way because of the way I feel. And if people want to say, oh, I don't know how you do that. Well, you have to experiment on your own body before you can say, oh, it's hard, or I don't, give me a reason why you don't want to do that. When you are miserable enough, then you'll try it. You'll try anything. Just like you're trying the Weight Watchers and you're trying the Jenny Craig or whatever. I mean, this is just something else that you have in your toolbox. I just wish every doctor would say, okay, here's your medicine, or you can eat the proper human diet. You can eat the carnivore lifestyle. But they don't do that. But I wish if someone wants to talk to me about it, I'm saying this is an option. I mean, if you miserable enough, here's another option that no one's going to tell you about, but I'm going to tell you about it. And this is what it did for me. This is how I improved my life. So I want you to have that option too. And it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. But give them the option is what I say. I found out that a friend of mine, who she's a year older than me, her daughter has stage 4 kidney disease. And she's like maybe in her 30s, like early 30s. And I was reading this on Facebook, and I felt the need to text her and just tell her about the carnivore lifestyle. Because if I didn't, then I would feel that I didn't do everything to help her and her daughter. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I'm so sorry to hear that your daughter has this kidney disease. And I just wanted to let you know that there is another option. And, I just wanted to give you this information. You do your own research. There are a couple of doctors, and I listed them. You can go to their YouTube. There's a Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Baker, Dr. Kiltz. I mean, there's tons of doctors out there that can help you with the information or the questions that you may have. There are doctors out there. I'm no doctor, but I want you to have this option for your daughter. And she wrote me back and she thanked me. And then her daughter also wrote me and told me that she had heard about the carnivore lifestyle and that she was looking into it. So I was happy about that. And that's my advice. I mean, at least have the option of the carnivore lifestyle. If you don't even know about it, then that's not an option for you. But if you get to the point where you are miserable enough, then I think you should have all the options available. You do your research, and then if you want to experiment on your body, then that's what you do. And that's what I did. I was to the point that I was miserable. I needed a solution. And I read about the carnivore diet. I researched it. And to this day, I still watch YouTube videos because it motivates me. And I never want to stop learning about how the body works and how the carnivore lifestyle can benefit me. I mean, I feel it. I know it can benefit me, but I want other people to have the same feeling that I have, to be happy with your life and to have the option of the carnivore lifestyle. And I think that's the best of everything, really. I keep chicken, shrimp, red meat in my freezer. When I go to the grocery store, that's what I buy. Bacon, breakfast sausage. I will keep all that in my freezer. And then on a regular basis, I take stuff out, I cook it, I pack it for work every day. I do not leave the house without having my lunch packed and ready to go. Because if I don't, then I know I'm going to mess up. I'm going to grab for something that may not be beneficial to my, microbiome, as I call it. And in my mind, I have to be prepared. So I cook, do most of my cooking on Sundays, and then I will pack. Each morning, I will look and see what I have. And usually it's like a hamburger patty with boiled egg and maybe some bacon. And I'll just bring that. And I'll bring enough to satiate me. When I come home for dinner, I try to eat early. I'll eat maybe a steak with a fried egg on it, something like a side. Sometimes I do chicken wings, and I'll have that hamburger patty, just for variety. So I like to cook a variety and not have the same thing. Yeah. I have a weighted vest that I wear when I go walking, and I have weight at my house. I have a rebounder at my house. I do a lot of walking, but on the weekends, I'll put my weighted vest on. And then I also, like, if I'm just cleaning the house or cooking, I'll have my weighted vest on. And that's pretty much what I do. I do weights, and I do a lot of walking, and I use my rebounder. When I go out with my friends, I'll usually get a steak or a hamburger patty or hamburger steak, that kind of thing. But like I tell people, when you want to change your life, you have to set a goal, and you can't deviate from that goal, or don't deviate from the lifestyle until you've reached your goal. Okay. And then if you want to add in something off plan for maybe one meal, if that's what you want to do, then you do it. I mean, you still have to live. So, like with Thanksgiving coming up, I'll always eat the protein and the fats first, always. And then most of the time, I don't want the dessert. And I'm not a big sweet eater. And there are times when I'm at work and someone brought donuts or whatever. I'll take one and put it on my desk. And then I'll leave it there. I mean, I really don't want it. I'll just put it there for lunch. I'll eat my meat, and I will get so satiated that I don't even think about any other food. And so it'll go in the trash. But like with Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas, I will definitely eat the protein and the fat first. And if I want a little bit of like a cornbread dressing or something like that, I'll usually have maybe 2 bites, and I won't want any more of it because I'm already satiated. But maybe if I want to oh, that looks good, let me have a taste of that, I may have 2 bites. That's just how I am. That's just what I do. If you focus on getting the protein and the fat first, it really does take away the craving for like the cake or the sweets. And then if you get full, you really, it takes away that craving. The younger generation, they're going to go and grab Chick-fil-A, or they're going to, because it's fast, it's convenient, and they don't have to cook. But that's the thing. To me, you have to cook your own food. And the benefit of feeling better outweighs the convenience and the quickness. I mean, you can run through Chick-fil-A and eat and feel miserable, or you can take a day out of your week or your weekend, just take a couple of hours, maybe 1 hour, cook some meat, boil some eggs, cook some bacon, and then eat that. See and feel the difference in your skin, and feel the difference in your microbiome, your stomach area, all of that. If you compare eating out to eating the food that you cook, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. You will feel better eating, the carnivore lifestyle. I think the one message that I could give the young people is there will be a time, there may be a time you are not feeling well. You're going to have joint pain. You may have aches, and maybe it's not now. But I want you to remember that food can be medicine. So when you get to a point where you are not feeling well, you're miserable, you don't know what's going on, just think that someone told you that it might be the food you're eating, and do your own research. I mean, it needs to be an option. Carnivore lifestyle needs to be an option, just like medicine is an option. Carnivore lifestyle is an option. And try it and see how you feel. And you may not need to be on medicine. I'm not on medicine. I don't want to be on medicine. I would rather eat the proper food than be on medicine and eat, food that just looks good. So, I know the young people don't think that they're ever going to have a problem because they're going to eat whatever they want to eat. And that's fine right now. But later on, I want you to have the option of eating the carnivore lifestyle so you can feel the best you've ever felt. So